Who is Mickey Mouse's favorite character from Alice in Wonderland? The Cheese Shire Cat. Welcome to the stream. Happy Sunday, my friends, and thank you for being here. I hope you are well. I hope you've had a good weekend, my friends. Welcome in. Sir Rack of Lamb is first in chat tonight, followed by Dead Zergling and Sparrow. Sparrow, of course, made the music that you heard if you were here during the start screen. And Lucent Jelly, welcome in, and thank you for being here as well, of course. It was the sound of a future that was. That's it. It just was. Of course, the future has since changed, Sparrow says, because I don't know, something wibbly wobbly timey wimey. The Frownie art is just sublime. Jelly made this one today. The thing is, I didn't think about it, Jelly. The art's actually not going to be on display all that long because we're playing a Switch game. So the game's gonna be taking up the full screen. There won't be any place for it. But I'll have to put a truly retro Mickey Mouse game on the schedule so we can show it off. Disney may shut you down, Sir Rack of Lamb says to Jelly. You're too good with the icons. I was close, Zergling says. I thought it would be the Cheshire Mouse. It was a happy Sunday, Sparrow says. I don't know why. Jelly and I struggled to come up with any sort of, like, mouse joke for tonight. And the thing is, like, I don't even know that Mickey Mouse, like, I can't really think of ever seeing him portrayed as having, like, a particularly strong fondness for cheese. Like, I don't even know that that's part of his personality. Mickey got the Sonic treatment. He did. It's very unusual to see Frownie with legs or feet. That is, he doesn't actually, Agent Frownie doesn't actually have legs. He just floats around. But sometimes the characters do sort of call for it. If they have a particularly iconic footwear. I'm sure you'll find another use for it. Oh yeah. We'll play. It'll give me a great excuse to play the Magical Quest on the Super NES. I love that game. Mickey Mouse and friends are always saying hot diggity dog, Zergling says, so I think they love hot dogs. That's why the clothes are disconnected. I did notice that. Jelly. Alright, so we're going to play a game. It's a new game. What's it called? Disney Illusion Island. I think it's a platformer. It's got a very, like, throwback art style. Looks kind of like Cuphead. All I know about it is what I've learned from the front of the box. So, not a whole lot. But let's go ahead and get to it. Let me get this out of the way. Go ahead and shrink. I only plan on playing the one game tonight. Hopefully it will be good and well worth our while. They've got a Mickey Mouse loading icon. Photosensitivity warning. The volume is really low, but I'm scared to turn the music up because I think that the actual sound effects are going to be really loud. Play, settings, gallery, legal and privacy, credits, gallery. Alright, let's look at our settings. Gameplay options. I don't know, I'm just going to leave everything at default. I don't remember what default was now. Alright, I'll take the music down a notch. Let's have our subtitles on. I will change that. Probably I didn't actually want to turn those up. Map, interact, jump, usability. All makes sense. I hope we can use the D-pad to move around. Alright. I hope this game turns out to be good, Sir Rack of Lamb says. I kind of want it. And me too. I'm going into it. I'm going into it blind. I'm hoping, I'm hoping for a decent, sort of old-fashioned style platforming game. Save slot 3. That's where I like to hang out. 1 player. Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Goofy. I don't know if we'll be able to change our character mid-game or not, but I guess we'll just start off with Mickey. Low risk experience, less challenging, balance challenge, punishing challenge. Well, again, I'm just going to leave everything at default, more or less. I know I did lower the music volume a little. Grip? What is grip? Oh, my controller. Alright. Let's go. Sure is loading a while. This is a library checkout.
Here we are. The perfect place for an island picnic. Maybe I read this map wrong. Huh.
That's not a map, that's a drawing.
This is it. Minnie! Oh boy, it's great to see ya.
It's wonderful to see you too.
I got the map you sent. Wait, what?
I didn't send that map. It doesn't even have coordinates or custom embossing.
Donald? Not exactly.
Gosh, the gang's all here. I sure am glad you sent this map, or I'd never found the place. It ain't on my GPS. Goofy positioning system.
Hang on. We all got maps of this island, but we didn't send them to each other?
That's so strange.
It sure is. Why didn't we carpool?
Gosh, we gotta get to the bottom of...
Am I imagining things, or does everyone else hear that noise?
Sounds like mystical twinkling.
That is not a usual island sound. Let's go check it out.
The twinkling sounds coming from that direction. All right, I think I'm going to get to play now. Welcome in, Greg. Pleasure to have you here, of course. Greg's Retro Channel. Too bad there's no demo for this game, but oh well, the stream will be the demo. Thank you for joining us. I hope it's good. Sarek of Lamb says that's what I thought. Sparrow says thankfully there's subtitles for Donald. He's a little tough to understand sometimes. It's a Tama Goofy, Sarek of Lamb says. It did. I thought of that. Yeah, I thought, when I saw that, I thought the same thing. I thought it looked like a Tamagotchi. This is what Disney cartoons would look like if I drew them all, Zergling says. You mean the same direction these signs with suspicious picnic images are pointing to? That's right. Gorsh. Does this mean we still get our picnic? That's the best case scenario. What's the worst case? Follow me. Wait, what's the worst case? Oh, they're gone. Alright, so... we kind of slide when we turn around. You can use the D-pad to move. Thank goodness. Shoulder buttons appear to do nothing. I've got a jump. I don't even have a run button. The jump is... alright, it's a little floaty. Not bad. I can do a backflip? Fancy. That's like Mario 64. I don't know if there's any point to it, though. Is it really higher than a regular jump? Might be. What is that? A mailbox with a beard? You discovered mailbox checkpoint. Mailboxes save progress and are where stamped players return. I'm scared of the mailbox. Oh. I thought the icon there, it's telling me to hold B to jump higher. I thought it was telling me to hold down to jump higher, and I was thinking that's counterintuitive. That purple stuff down there can't be any good. No one can speak Donald's language. Donald's the one that looks the strangest, Sir Rack of Lamb says, although Goofy's chin is odd, too. secret down here? No? Alright, I can't jump up there, but can I backflip up there? Is the backflip higher? I think it is. I think the backflip is, I think the backflip jump goes slightly higher. Jump over dangerous creatures. Cool. Oh, there's no going back. That was a one-way trip. Hey, Board Jams, good to see you. Afternoon, quack, quack, quack. I'm Donald Duck. Thank you for the hydrate. I'll gladly do that. The wheel is turned off tonight, as undoubtedly someone has noticed. Just gonna take a break from it tonight. I wasn't feeling like it. Finish up that bottle entirely. I think the mailbox flag looks like a nose, Sir Rack of Lamb says. It's like a scroll of some kind. Ooh, can we swing and climb? I can't reach that. There's no way to jump high enough to get to that. I think it's in the background anyway. Look, it looks like it's behind that pillar, so I probably couldn't climb on it anyway. Yeah, a lot of the world of this game looks like it's made of paper, actually. There's a lot of things, like this is a scroll, this platform here is a scroll. It's kind of cool. The art style is weird. The art style is like one part like old-timey rubber hose animation, but it's also like part like 2000s Cartoon Network. The sound is coming from behind the shrubbery. Board Jam says, I once shoved a purple pencil on my nose at the age of 5, thinking it would be cool. Sadly, I got a headache from it, and instead, from the aftermath, I hope there weren't any lasting negative effects. Hey, Dynamite, welcome in. We're playing Disney Illusion Island tonight. The sound is coming from behind the shrubbery. Let's take a look.
Is it normal to see a bookcase in the middle of a jungle?
Well, sure. But making a strange twinkling sound? Oh, now that's weird.
Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Goofy, we bid you welcome to the world of Monoth. We are the Hokins, and I am their leader, Toku.
I'm Goofy.
Yes, I know. I just greeted you.
I remember. Yep, good times.
Indeed. Can someone please help move this conversation forward?
Sure, Toku. So, are you the one who invited us here?
I am. I apologize for the misleading picnic invitations, but if I told you the truth, you might not have believed me.
So there's no picnic.
Yes, that is what I meant by misleading.
Okay. I just wanted to know before I left my temple. Donald, calm down. Now let's hear what Mr. Toku has to say. My curiosity is perfectly piqued.
Thank you, Minnie. Well, we're in desperate need of your help. Our entire world is in danger. We need heroes to save us, and we all know about your adventures. Dueling with knights, swashbuckling as musketeers, and even contesting giants high atop a beanstalk. I mean, wow.
Gosh, we have done heroic things.
Those things were pretend. This isn't.
Well, sure, but don't you want to be real heroes for a change?
No. Well, I think if others are in need, we should help them. And if that makes us heroes, then let's be heroes.
Reason 4,897 why I love you, Minnie.
Say, what are we whispering about?
Oh.
Oh. Tell us what you need, Toku. We'll help however we can.
Oh, thank goodness. Oh, I cannot tell you how relieved I am. Now, you see this magnificent yet empty bookcase? Normally, it holds 3 tomes of knowledge, a trio of powerful magical books that contain all the wisdom of our lands. Now, as long as the books are in place upon these shelves, prosperity reigns for the people of Monoth.
Hang on, the books are gone.
Yes, I know.
What happens when the books aren't on the shelf?
Oh, great calamity will befall our world, and 1,000 evils will rain down untold suffering and misery.
That's it? For me, that's a Tuesday.
Gosh, what happened to the tomes?
Evil thieves from the 3 biomes of Monoth have stolen them, selfishly using the magic of the tomes to further their own desires at the expense of the world. We tried to stop them from taking the books, but
You are too small and weak?
I was just going to say that we failed, but yeah, we were too weak. Too weak.
I'm small.
And small, yes. Both of those things. We are small and weak, all right?
I'm 20.
The point is, we need help from outside heroes, and you four, well, your exploits are famous. Your bravery legendary, and to put it simply, you're just what we need, what our world needs. What do you say?
Sure.
Of course.
They already said they would help. Let's get moving. This story is wearing me down.
I'll do it.
We can reward you handsomely.
Because I'm a hero, that's why.
We'll do it, Toku.
Oh, wonderful! You must travel to the 3 biomes of Monoth and retrieve the tomes of knowledge. But be prepared. It will not be easy. The thieves will not readily part with the books, but I will teach you some magic words that will help.
Words are the most powerful weapon, you know. I'm planning is better.
These words, when spoken aloud, create a sequence that will trap the thieves. It's better than any cannon, and there's no messy cleanup.
So it's like a magic spell?
Yes! Just utter these words. TBD, 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 TBD.
TBD, 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 TBD.
Wait, are those placeholder words or the
Cutscene's gone on for so long, the
Yes.
Switch is falling asleep.
Use the spell on anybody?
No, just the thieves.
That seems suspiciously arbitrary.
Yeah, much in life does.
Okay, so all we gotta do is find the thieves and use the words to trap them.
Yes! But it will only work when they're dazed.
There certainly are a lot of rules.
Such is the nature of magic.
I still want a cannon.
Oh, I've got a question. Where's the picnic?
No, that was a ruse.
Oh, what?
No, a ploy, a sham, a deception.
Oh, are there sandwiches?
There is no...
It's okay. We'll explain. Don't you worry, Toku. We won't let you down.
Oh, thank you. All of you.
Toku, where can we find the tomes?
I do not have the exact locations,
What a shock.
but we believe each thief can be located within a different part of Monoth. I suggest you travel to Terrarium Town within Pavonia, the biome to the west. This is the last known sighting of one of the tomes. I've marked the location on these mobile communication devices. Just check the Toku app.
Thanks, Toku. Come on, everybody. Let's go find the first tome and be heroes.
Oh, somebody send help, please.
That seemed to go well. What?
This is why we need help.
The illusion is that this is a game. In reality, it's a cartoon. Oh my goodness. I hope all the story is front-loaded. My goodness, that is way too much. That is way too much. And for your question, Dynamite, I don't know. I'm in the same place I'm always at. We need to go through the Forgotten Farmlands on the other side of this gap.
Golly.
Gosh, this jump looks pretty far. I can make it watch. Rip Donald. Let's look around the island for something to help us cross this gap. If nothing else, it will be an adventure. Some places you can't get to yet. Find new items to help you progress. Alright. We got Glimped. Use Glimpse to gain extra hearts and unlock gallery rewards in the menu. Alright, so we're at 3. I don't know if there's like what is this? Downtown Gizmopolis, Forgotten Farmlands, Craters Bay. Oh dear, you haven't found any books yet, friends. Okay, keep an eye out for what I'm trying to, things I could interact with. Dotted line there. Oh, some places you can't get to yet. Find new items to help you progress. Same dialogue. I don't know what this beam of wind is. Oh, I really thought I was gonna grab onto this, like, rope and swing like a vine. Oh my goodness, this jump is too far too. Well, what is this thing in the background? It's moving. I can't really interact with it though. Oh, maybe I have to use the other button. Nope. Very slow to start this game. Yoo-hoo, hello?
Oh.
Oh, hello, sorry, I'll be right with you.
Haha.
Mazzy? I get a little lost in my own tinkering world. Can I help you with something? Trying to get across to Pavonia. Do you know if there's a way? Why, yes, I have just the tools for the task. Great, thanks. What's the point of a wonderful workshop if not to help those in need? Oh yes, these will work splendidly. So it's a rocket pack? Now then, for my new friend with the distinctive ears, a shiny short burst jetpack. Oh, I think this will be like a double jump. Oh boy, a jetpack. This will really put a vroom in my zoom. Everyone gets a different thing. For Miss Bow-tastic, an elegant bit of origami, a giant paper plane. Oh, I love it. So sleek and aerodynamic. For you in the lovely, I guess that's a sweater or a shirt. Yep. Okay. For you, a spicy pepper to fire you forward. No, I should have picked Goofy. He gets the best item. Food, fantastic. I'm starving. It's a propellant pepper, not an edible one. What do I get? Oh yes, the sailor. You have, hold on. You forgot me, didn't you? Not at all. Here it is, a rather rickety repeating rocket. Don't rockets usually explode? Now, all of you, please enjoy these inventions. They should help you navigate the treacherous terrain of Monmouth. Thank you for your help. You can call me Mazzy. Thanks, Mazzy. You are welcome, and farewell, my new friends. Well, he sure was nice. You said it. Now let's head over to Pavonia and find Terrarium Tower. He never answered my exploding rocket question. Boost jump. Get a boost in the air to go further. Victory. I mean, it's a double jump. It's not... It's a very, very horizontal double jump. It's alright. It's not my favorite double jump in the world, though. Mickey Mouse's ears are really a hat, Bort Jam says. Disney lied to us the whole time. Is this a Metroidvania-style game? It looks like it, Greg. I can't say for sure. All I know about the game All I knew about it before I started was what the front of the box looked like. I assumed it would be a platformer. Disney graphics, Cuphead style. I don't know, kind of weird. Yeah, that's immediately what I thought of as well. Of course, when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, they made a Cuphead style platformer."
Oh boy.
Now we've got a way to boost our jumps. Let's head back to that gap.
Oh,
Where was it again? Let's open the map and have a look. So yeah, look, it's a Metroidvania style game. We've even got a map. Uncle Muscles, welcome in. Looks cool. So far, promising. It's very slow to start. And there was a cutscene a few minutes ago that went on for a lifetime. That arrow must be where we are now. And this marker must be where we're going. Can we just go home? No, we promised to help. Grown fine. Alright, we've learned to use the map. Let's head back to the gap and the Forgotten Farmlands. Hope I'm not missing anything. Come on. I tried to sequence break. They're not having any of it. Yeah, we're playing this on the Switch. It's probably available on everything. But I mean, I don't know that for sure, but I would assume. But yeah, Switch for me. For that being slightly older hardware, they make good new games with it still. I'm happy for the Switch to last as long as Nintendo can possibly get away with it. I am in absolutely no rush for a Switch 2 to come out. That'll just be new hardware I have to spend money on. So, what do you want to bet? What do you want to bet I can't swim? I can swim. Oh my goodness. I thought for sure the water would be deadly. My Switch is stronger than my current laptop. Oops. I never played a Switch game even once, Dynamite says. It's got some really good stuff. But, you know, most of it is stuff that you can get elsewhere, too, so... Thinking about getting a desktop though. Do you recommend AMD over Intel? I am the last person in the world to ask for computer advice, Uncle Muscles. I'd love to help you out if I could, but my opinions would be absolutely meaningless. I use a laptop I got secondhand, and it's like, I don't know. It came with Windows 8 on it, so it's, and I think it's from when Windows 8 was like pretty much brand new, so it's a pretty old machine. Deep roots to the left, library to the right. Check out the water before we do the platforming. I found a secret! There are secrets in this game. Memorabilia bundle. A bundle containing a piece of memorabilia. Alright. That's fair. Windows 8 was rough. Yeah, I didn't want to learn it. So, because the laptop was secondhand, and also because I had no interest in learning Windows 8, I blanked the hard drive and replaced the operating system with a version of Linux. And that was a decision I've certainly had to live with. It's not a decision that I regret necessarily, but it's a decision that comes with consequences. Kinda retired Nintendo with GameCube, Dynamite says. I mean, it was during the lifespan of the GameCube that I kind of stopped sort of all modern gaming. Well, 98% of modern gaming for quite a while. I really took a step back. But I don't really think that, you know, I do think that the Wii and Wii U have stuff to, and the Switch, of course, have stuff to offer that I'd like to get around to. Want to go left or right? Check out down here first. This looks like it might be a little optional area. Went from XP to 7, then 10, and now 11, Board Jam says. Yeah, the last version of Windows that I used was 7. You receive token, collectible card created in Monolith. I had a desktop that, I mean, I still have it, but I never use it because the video out is fried, and I haven't figured out how to repair it. But when I bought the desktop, I picked out the one that I got because it still had Windows 7 on it, even though Windows 8 was the current thing. I went out of my way to get the older operating system. Sir Punks-a-Lot, welcome in. Surprised you're not playing as many. Well, I was thinking I'd probably play as all the characters at some point. I regret not picking Goofy, because each of the characters has a unique double jump item. Like, Mickey's got this rocket pack, and Goofy's double jump item is apparently a spicy pepper. So I chose very poorly. But welcome in, Punk. Always a pleasure to have you with us. There are doors throughout Monmouth. Oh. What was... Everyone was there for a moment. Now they're gone. Key acquired. 7 and 10 were good for me, Uncle Muscle says. Yeah, I've never used 10. Alright, before we head too far in that direction, I did see another option back here. Anytime we see that question mark, that just means we can't get there. This game is kind of hand-holdy with, like, the, you can't go in this direction kind of messaging. I think you have options to turn that off, though, in the settings. Or at least turn it down, so... might be wise to pursue that. I just wanted to get the generic default experience for the most part, though, so I just tried to mostly just leave things as they were. There are 3 keys. I have one of 3 keys. Oh, I see. So I probably can't even open this door back here yet then, can I? Nope, you need all 3. Would have laughed if Donald's power was a boating paddle instead of a rocket. Add to his jump by paddling the air. I haven't skipped the PlayStation 3, except I was all in on God of War 3. Had to beat that one, Dynamite says. I have yet to play a God of War game. Oh, another secret. Oh no! Alright, we're okay. That just took a heart away. Hey, heart reacquired? You received heart. Collecting this restores 1 heart for everyone that needs it. Glorious. I know the Xbox S has built-in streamer hardware. Does the Switch at all? Not that I'm aware of. I believe no. I wonder if I'm skipping little cutscenes when all of the other characters pop up. I think I might have accidentally skipped some dialogue. just now and the time before. Hey, Idarama, welcome in, Itty. Alright, looks like I'm not skipping cutscenes there. Is that cactus going to come all the way over here and get me? Thank you very much for the pistachios, Itty. Wow, that third pistachio? I don't know. I don't know why, but that last one that I just had there was like 3 times as flavorful as any other pistachio. That was a real treat. I have a piece stuck in my tooth now, though. Excuse me a moment. Alright, everything is fine now. Oh no! I didn't pay attention to that platform. So far, that's the greatest enemy in the game is those hungry platforms. This zoom in and zoom out graphics like Sonic Colors had, I can't stand it, Dynamite says. It's like not legit 2D old school platforming. I'm alright with it. I don't mind the, yeah, I don't really mind the zoom in, zoom out kind of thing. Oh, victory. Let's go. I realized the danger I was in at the very last moment. A little wonky on the camera angles, Uncle Muscles agrees. The quarry. Another token? Thought I was gonna miss the platform there. It's a very This is a very slow-paced game so far. Is that an eyeball in the wall? Healing pool. Health restoring pools found throughout Monmouth. Alright, well, there's no going up there. Oh, I might get a wall jump down here, though. That's what that looks like. It's another secret over here, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Run. Nothing over there. Another key quest. Glimpse rewards. Oh. There are a lot of collectibles in this game. Alright, so there's 91. Why didn't they just go and make... Why didn't they just go and make it an even 100? They're close enough. Do I want to reveal one of those? Alright, there. Wow. Abilities and key items. Okay. When they said before, during the story part before, the characters mentioned there being 3 biomes to the world. I inferred from that the game would probably be very small, because, you know, three areas does not sound like much. But, I mean, there's a lot of collectibles and stuff, so... I mean, I don't think... This isn't going to be a huge game or anything like that, but... it is it does seem like it's going to be a little more substantial than I suspected at first. I don't actually have any coffee or anything tonight. When I want to drink, I've got to sip on my hydrate water. I read that comment, Itty, in my head, but I don't think I said anything about it. Though when you wrote spilled over 200k points, had to spend some. My goodness, thank you. I needed to, I wanted to, and should say thank you for spending so much time with us to build up such an impressive bank of points. Collect that. Surely I won't take damage. There's another eyeball on the wall down here. It's reminding me of Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection now. Did I? Okay, I went over here. Lost my train of thought, and then I thought maybe I left some collectibles behind. The secret walls are pretty heavily telegraphed. Is this an optional area? It is. Nice. Okay, there's a thing up there I'm going to want to get. There was a Shrek 2 Barbie doll back when the Shrek craze was still new at the time, Board Jam says. Can't say I've come across one of those before. Hey, Buddha Fingers, welcome in. Good to see you, my friend. Frownie, you completely fell for it? I did? That shouldn't surprise anyone. I'm something of a fool, so stumbling into a pitfall is like nothing I'm unfamiliar with. Clearly you're in a Mickey Mouse trap. Indeed I am. I didn't cash out the reward for the glimped rewards. What a strange word. Now I know why you like this. It's paced and controls like Super Ghouls and Ghosts. What? I don't know about that, Dynamite. I'm gonna have to disagree on both counts. Alright, let's check our rewards thing. So, I guess, I don't... History of Pavonia. Pavonia, the western biome, is famous for its incredible flora and fauna. These wondrous crops are harvested for food and supplies, then distributed. Wow, I stumbled over that word. Throughout Monoth. Legends state that Pavonia is fruitful and prosperous due to the protection of the Highness, a giant peacock believed to wrap the entire biome within its wings. Pavonia is made up of 3 regions: Forgotten Farmlands, Terrarium Town, and Head of the Highness. Alright, so each of the biomes is made up of sub-regions. It's Fiona time and girl power rules. I didn't know it was a talking Shrek 2 doll. Uh-oh. Alright, well, I'm gonna have to come back. I'm gonna have to come back here later for that thing. It would seem. Ah. Oh no, I landed right on the cactus. Oh. Alright, I think we're about to get a power-up, though. Nope. Not over here, at least. Alright, so back down, and I don't remember where the door was. I got the keys. I don't remember where the door was, though. I feel like this is the wrong way. Pick this up, though. It's not enough to just jump on the box. You actually have to collect the heart that comes out of it. That's a little odd. I figure, like, just jumping on it would be enough to activate the heart. Like, it would be automatically collected. It's pretty odd that it isn't. Let's go. No going up there. It's kind of ironic that the protector of the region is known as the Highness, because we are descending deeper and deeper into the depths. Hey! Now it's new ability time. My prediction is wall jump. Mazzy, so nice to see you again. Nice to see you too, my friends. And a little surprising, we just saw you back at the library. Yes, you did. Strange, isn't it? Very. How did you get here? Well, you know, I don't quite remember. Aha, must be the years finally catching up to me. Anyway, what can I do for you? We gotta reach Terrarium Tower, but can't find a way to the top of the Forgotten Farmlands. So, you need something to ascend to new heights. Yes, that will help, and that, and, oh my goodness, certainly that. Problem's not your jumping prowess, it's your ability to cling to vertical surfaces. Fortunately, I have just the curious creations to help. For my red-shorted friend, the pen may be mightier than the sword, but a giant pencil can draw new conclusions. Oh boy, I get the point. But for a professional climber with a polka dot personality, a professional climbing tool. Nice. I'm a little jealous of that. I like the look of that tool. That's certainly spot on. That's certainly spot on. A fork. I take it back. Goofy gets all the best stuff. For the gent with the green hat, the best way to serve this situation is a giant fork. Woohoo, my tummy's rumbling already. And for you, my nautical friend, yeah, what do I get? A plunger. A plunger. What better way to stick to stuff? But the others are so fine. Just give it to me. Now go, my friends, and reach the gates of Terrarium Town. I think I said Terrarium Tower, but it's town. The views are beautiful. What a great pal, always there just when you need him. A plunger, phooey. Jump onto a wall to cling, then jump again for more height. My prediction was correct. Not that, like, it was, you know, difficult to predict. It was pretty obvious what was in our future. Okay, it's a very, there's no, like, one-side wall climbing. You're, when you make a wall jump, you're quite committed to jumping away from a surface. Okay, there's so many collectibles I haven't collected, though. As usual, I didn't even see this enemy. They blend in too well. Epic Mickey 3 confirmed. The floor looks like lava here. I'm at least somewhat surprised by its traversability. That was a dead end. The pencil for the wall jump is an odd choice. Ah, okay. I finally know where I am again. Nice.
Boy.
Yeah, I would say that I'm, I'm enjoying this game. It's not, it's not stellar so far, but it's, it's fine. It's enjoyable. It's a little, it's a bit slow paced. And it's not, thus far, not especially challenging, but it's got an interesting world, and it's fun enough to traverse and explore. Am I going to get the Atari 2600 Plus? I don't think I have any use for, I don't think I have any use for that board, Gems. I still have an original 2600 that, works well enough for me. So I think I'm gonna sit that one out. Okay, so I'm gonna have to come back here again at another time when I can, like, dive below the water so that I can get through there. I'm free to find my way out of here now. Nothing there. I would be a little bit more tempted by the 2600 Plus if it had a USB port so that you could add games onto it with like just a flash drive. But I didn't see that feature. I might have overlooked it, but it didn't look like it has a feature like that. Greg says I'll definitely be getting this game on my next payday. Right on. I hope you have a good time with it. I'm pretty sure you will, because I know you're a big Metroidvania fan. You know, it's no Hollow Knight or anything like that. Don't get me wrong. It's It's not the strongest Metroidvania I've ever played, but it's good. I'm enjoying it. I would just say it's very I guess it's kind of exploration heavy. It doesn't have a ton of well-hidden secrets so far, but it's definitely like more about walking around and just passing through the map than it is about something like combat. Okay, so I can go up there now. There are should be lots of other places I can get to now that I couldn't before as well. Back in this direction. Not a secret wall there. It's my kind of game, exploration. That's why I like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom so much. Fair point, fair point. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna need an ability to swim deeper. All right, I wandered much further in this direction than I should have. Gonna be looking at some 2600 games this Thursday, right on. Another collectible. Let's take a moment. Look at our collectibles. Oh my goodness, they're all gonna come with huge chunks of dialogue, or optional text. Mazzy. Okay, so basically they're just cards. They're like trading cards of characters from the game. So, have we met any of these other characters, though? Slick? Okay. Cyclone. Autumno. Sharpic. Oh, they're enemies, too. They're characters and enemies. Alright, interesting. Clock cleaners. The sandwich. And immediately after we checked out our collectibles, we got a new one. Fluttercly. This is just like an enemy from Hollow Knight. Jido. Hello. You look new to the wonderful biomes of Monoth? We are. Can I interest you in one of my map pieces? That would be fantastic. But I'm afraid we don't have anything to buy them with. That's okay, I don't sell them. They're free. Where's the bud? Good one, Goofy. There are no buds. I just love making maps and handing them out to the wonderful folks who find me. Look for me throughout Monoth, and I'll give you a new piece in each area. Why can't you give us all of them now? Where's the fun in that? You're right. What was I thinking? Thanks, pal. We'll see you soon. He drew his map on a piece of bread. He drew his map on an old piece of bread. I love it. Oh my goodness, look at all that territory it revealed. Wow, it's even larger when you zoom in. Cartostrophe. Cartostrophe. This music is so great that my grandpa Board Jams is now dancing, Board Jam says. Right on. Oh no. Cartostrophy. I was trying for cartography with toast. And he explained. I was thinking. Well, clearly I was thinking of catastrophe. Cartostrophy. It was so much better. If I'd only read it like you intended. My pun was a catastrophe. It's a dangerous business trying to make a pun, right? Hey, we unlocked a new reward. So our rewards for collecting the glimpse are basically just pieces of lore, it looks like. That's what I gleaned from the first one. Yeah. Forgotten farmlands. Once a thriving and highly populated crop-growing region of Pavonia, Forgotten Farmlands is now very much that, forgotten. Previously bountiful, this area became riddled with smugglers intent on using its beautiful pathways to transport bootleg moon juice from Astrono. This invasive presence caused the farmlands residents to flee to safer pastures. With no farmers to care for the crops, the farmlands were taken back by nature and now an overgrown botanical playground rife with dangerous critters. Only the brave, or stupid, dare to navigate these treacherous routes. It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it, Itty says. These are not characters that we can interact with. They are basically scenery pieces. Here's a, alright, we're on another key quest. Well, hello, hello. Welcome in, Raiders. Let's give a shout out to Mile Hyrule. Thank you for the raid, my good friend. Always appreciated. It says you raided twice. Welcome in, my friend, and welcome to your friends. Welcome to Disney Illusion Island. We're playing this on the Switch. I think it's a new game. I just came across it couple weeks ago. And it's kind of a very casual Metroidvania. Very laid back game. But I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying my time with it quite a bit. That's an enemy. All right, we're safe to stand here, I think. 2 raids because I'm dangerous. Myra says, "Welcome in, my friend. I hope your stream went well." I can't say that I know anything about Disco Elysium, but I hope you're having fun with it. Whoa. Uh-oh. I'm on the verge of death. Also, there's a checkpoint right here. Right there on the left. There's a checkpoint. It's going off the screen now. And there's another one immediately over here. Losing a life is a very real possibility right now. Oh my, look at this. We've got to jump around these spikes. Oh, I wasn't ready for that. That was intense. It did. It's an Deceive RPG. I think there's a typo there. So I think we've got to wait until we find some way to make platforms appear to get up there. That dotted line, I think we're going to get a power that will let us just fill in these dotted lines with a platform. But for now, alas, I cannot make it up there. Oh, thank goodness. I desperately needed a heart. That's great. Alright, I think we want to go down and to the left first. Whoa. No! I almost landed on that cactus. Detective, Eddie suggests. That would make sense. Over there yet. Oh, that went poorly. Oh. This platform on the left is a trick. I missed the key. Victory. Hey, Duck Something, welcome in. Did I beat Echo? Not yet. We're gonna try again later this week. I think I put it on the schedule for Wednesday night. How is this? This is alright. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's a very casual Metroidvania. It's pretty big on wandering around, pretty low on combat. But pretty enjoyable. It's fun to move around. Why isn't it on PC? I couldn't tell you. Ouch.
Oh boy.
Well, I may perish. Oh, you know what? I think I can collect this heart. I think if I go back and hit that checkpoint again, that heart will restore and I can come back and pick it up again. Nope, I was wrong. Oh, I probably have to hit a different checkpoint and then I can come back to it and get the heart another time. Let's see how that works. It didn't work. You know what? I'm actually glad that didn't work. Donald is greater than Mickey. Well, you can actually choose to play as Donald if you wanted. I figure I'll probably play as all the characters at some point, but... I started us out with Mickey. I actually regret not picking Goofy because Goofy has the all the power-up items are unique to the characters. They all do the same stuff. They're just cosmetic differences. And Goofy has the most appealing item set. He's way bigger than the other characters, though, so I don't know if he has a different hitbox. Probably. Which might make him annoying to play as. Ah, thank goodness. That's what I needed. Nice, refreshing. health pool. I can be somewhat less afraid now. Ooh, they put an enemy right up there. Alright, well we can't like poke this eye and open the door. There's another trick to it somewhere. Gosh. Nobody's been through these gates in a long time. Had to refill my cat's water bowl, Port Jam says. Right on. It looks like it's been at least 100 years. Dex. That sounds about, huh? Hello, and who might you be? Besides an eavesdropper. The name's Dex, and entering uninvited is what I do. Are you a burglar? A burglar? Not at all. I would never be a burglar. I'm a smuggler. Oh, that's much better. Hey, sarcasm. I like that. I didn't read that with the correct tone. What are you doing with that weird-looking thing? I'm looking for the old smuggler's tunnels to get into Terrarium Town. A smuggler who doesn't know where the smuggler's tunnels are. You need to get a different career. Nope, smuggling's in my blood. My uncle was a smuggler before he went legitimate. Could you ask your uncle where the tunnels are? I tried. Problem is, Uncle Steve doesn't approve of me following in his footsteps. Although he might tell you. Saw that coming. You could ask him where the smuggler's tunnels into Terrarium Town are. We do need to find a way into Terrarium Town. Just head to Gizmopolis, then the service tunnels in downtown. I marked your map. No way, that's too long a walk. Oh, sarcasm again, eh? Ha, I love it. I'll give you a key card for the smuggler's entrance of Gizmopolis. You can also use it to take a different route through the farmlands. Ah, let us go past that eye, huh? I see. That's a key card on the sign there next to the door. That's a key card. Of course it is. My instinct, I was like, oh, I didn't say anything, but I was thinking, oh, there's a drawing of a cassette tape on that sign. Thank you, Dex. We'll see you soon. Smuggler's card. Key card that opens smuggler's doors. Alright, so that's our first item. First key item of the game. Alright, well, I can't make my way up there. Ah, cool. So all this area is going to take us back. It's a long way. It's a long way back. I kind of like the noises that thing makes. Oh, I can't actually get through here. Well, maybe another time. Did I miss something? Oh yeah, I missed some of these things. I thought so. Oh, there's a thing in there. Oh, but I've got to wait until I can come through the bridge? I don't know. I guess that's what that is. I need like a ground pound probably to get through there. Nothing. Ah. Thank you for the pistachios pork jams. We can hang out and enjoy some of those. Delightful as always. So very good. Oh, we got another reward. Oh, each of the areas of the game has their own set of rewards. Okay. Terrarium Town. To unfamiliar eyes, Terrarium Town is a beautiful place filled with never-ending ornamental tributes to the Highness. However, on closer inspection, one sees that these fancy trinkets get discarded every season to make way for newer, shinier decorative charms. This constant renewal of abandoned, broken tributes has created an unspoken divide in Terrarium Town. Layers of freshly purchased, shiny tributes are placed by hopeful new inhabitants atop the broken and abandoned old town, which is littered with decorations and overrun by unsightly critters. The lore in this game is very deep. Hey, Sinistubborn, good to see you again. It's been a while. I hope you've been doing good. And welcome to the stream. Port Jam says my favorite is salt and vinegar cashews and salted cashews. I have roasted salted cashews fairly often as well. I usually have those. I actually usually have cashews after the stream. I always have a tub of them sitting out on the counter in the kitchen. And I usually have a handful of them every night after the stream as I walk through there. Oh, I should have been patient. Uh-oh. Have I wandered into a dead end? No, I'm gonna perish. We may have our first death here very soon. Oh. I don't know what had me so confused. I thought I'd wandered into a dead end. Oh, I can't interact with any of this stuff over here yet. I'm gonna have to get like an umbrella or something that will lift us up when we're in these like beams of wind. Nice. Collectible acquired once again. When the camera goes from very zoomed out to very zoomed in, it does feel like your character suddenly moves a lot faster. So I can see that, you know, being a stumbling block that can make things a little annoying probably for some people. Well, let's just see what's over here. Huh? Another healing pool. Alright, we gotta find the uncle. What's this? Oh. It's another sign. Those signposts are everywhere. You can't walk like 2 screens without running into a signpost. Toothbrush. This one even has toothpaste on it yet. The world of this game is highly odd. Have you ever gotten your name signed on a video game or collectible, or even music CD in a different language? I cannot say that I have, Board Jams. I don't have a lot of I don't have a lot of signed objects to begin with. I don't really collect signatures. They're gonna make a movie with an original Indian Disney princess, Port Jam says. Right on. I guess you didn't say a movie, but... I would assume so. Imagine if the creator of the original Smurfs cartoon made The Simpsons instead. I don't know that I can imagine what that would be like. I have this, like, suspicion that I'm leaving stuff behind in an area or two. It's not a good feeling to have, like, chewing on the back of my brain. Key quest begins here. Wow, there's all kinds of stuff, like there's one of these platform outlines, there's a wind over there, there's all kinds of stuff I can't interact with, all localized in this spot. interesting. I've never seen a switch like that in the game before. Alright. That's good. That's good. Oh, I still can't make it over there, though. Thought I knew what was going to be going on there with that. It's a secret in that wall up there. They always telegraph the secrets with a piece missing from the wall. There's our first key. No. The switches are like bells, like what you find on like a counter, like ring the bell for service or whatever. I just noticed that. I don't know why it took me so long to see those three collectibles hanging out right there. I have to leave that last one for later. No. My goodness, this area goes on forever. Nice find, but I was already at full health. There's a capsule machine back there. Now that's a cassette tape up there at the top. I thought I saw a cassette tape before. It was a key card. There's no mistake in that one. there's sock puppets in there. But why? Got it. Key number 3 on the other side. Let's go. I don't know if that platform on the right actually goes low enough. I don't think it does. I don't think it actually goes low enough for the spikes to hurt you. The situation's meant to look perilous, but I don't think it actually is. I don't actually think there's any danger. Went through there before. There are spots I can't get to yet, but I think that's good. Careful. No. I wasn't careful enough. Whoa. Up first. There's a checkpoint. Maybe I want to go to the right first. No, there's a checkpoint in this direction too. What was that?
Gorge.
Gosh, I must be hungry. My tummy's never rumbled like, never rumbled that loud before. It's not your stomach, Goofy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, this seems like a big drop. I'm not going down there. I'll go first.
Ooh.
Minnie! Wait for me.
Oh.
Right behind you. Fine. But this is the last time I jump into a potentially bottomless pit. Oh, there's that rumbling again. Are you sure it's not my tummy? I'm pretty hungry. You have been inaccurately routed. Who said that? Ooh, is this a boss?
Oh.
I know why you are here, and you will not take the tome. Mickey, they must have one of the tomes. It's time to return you to Cinder.
Aw.
Give us the tome, and we can end this now. No, the tome stays with me, and the others shall remain with my sisters. Wait, you're all related? Well, no, not literal sisters, more like spiritual ones. The point is, the books are staying with us, and we will fight to keep them. Please, if you give us the tome, there won't be any trouble. Well, there might be a little trouble. This is the end of your delivery route. And postage is due. Oh great, we're about to get stamped. What's this we? I seem to be quite alone. I mean, so far so good. No problem. Let's go. Probably one more round. No, I was too slow. Oh, last one. Victory. You won't get away with this.
Ah.
Quick, everyone, the spell. TBD. 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 You may have bested me, but the others... Excuse me. But the other two won't be... Won't be what? Do you think she was going to say as difficult? We turned her to stone. Or as annoying. I suspect we may be the villains of this tale. The Tome of Engineering. Theories of Efficiency. The Tome of Engineering. The first tome. Just 2 more before we can return them all to Toku and the Hokuns. And be heroes. And have our picnic. Our what? Our picnic, you know. The whole reason we came to this island. Oh, Donald. That was too long ago for a callback. Grr. Well, that was very self-aware. Ah. pretty smoothly there. I have the Steamboat Willie Funko Pop. Port Jam says, wish I got the original Mickey Mouse Funko Pop line as well, since they're now very expensive. I don't think I have any Disney Funkos. Trying to think. But yeah, I don't think I do. Alright, we want to go through that key door, but I missed something back here. It's always so difficult to tell which direction is, you know, progress and which direction is bonus. Hey, Pookie Stan. Great to see you, my friend. Welcome in. Is your cat still selling your tongs? Yeah, I think that's how that story went, Mile High Roll. Graphics are pretty. It's an alright looking game. It's very, very well animated. So this is Disney Illusion Island on the Switch. It's a Metroidvania, and it's a pretty casual one. It's not a, you know, it's not a very challenging game. It's kind of laid back. Just kind of have fun jumping and moving through the environment kind of game. I mean, you know, there are enemies and bosses, but they're not gonna... They're not gonna cause you too much frustration, more than likely. But I'm enjoying it. Even though, yeah, I mean... It could be, you know, it could be a little bit more challenging, but... It's alright, not every game has to be brutal, right? Collectible acquired. Alright, we haven't cashed in our things, right? Head of the Highness. The peak of Pavonia, the highest point in all Moneth, is colloquially known as the Head of the Highness. The mountainous terrain is out of reach to nearly all, and though many have tried to ascend it, very few make it past the base of the neck. Thrill seekers of Monmouth consider the head of the Highness the ultimate climbing achievement due to its bitter cold and highly treacherous weather conditions. That sounds like the area I want to go to. Those who set out prepared for this untouched snowy area often end up turning back for fear of angering the Highness by disturbing the frosty peaks. That plant in the background looks like Mickey Mouse. No! I was worried at the last moment that that was going to bounce me up. I was going to hit the enemy there. And I was right. Oh. Oh, that's odd. Oh, will the other switch lower it back down? No? I don't think the switch and the bouncy platform should look like each other. But creates unnecessary confusion. Hey, Angelus, welcome in. Thank you for the raid, my friend. How are you doing? Hope you've had a good weekend. Hope you had a good stream. Game looks cool. Reminds me of Castle of Illusion. I haven't played Castle of Illusion. That might be on purpose, though, because this is called Illusion Island. So maybe they were thinking of Castle of Illusion when they made this game. I couldn't say. Yeah, this is Illusion Island on the Switch. It's a Metroidvania. And I'm having a good time with it. We're having just a pretty laid-back night. This is a very, very nice sort of taking it easy kind of game. We can go through that platform. Alright, I didn't know what I was going to do. Very nice. Thanks for the shout out. No problem, no problem. It looks like Mega Man 2 is what you're up to tonight. Mega Man 2 ROM hack. That's right, I should have known, I should have known. Hopefully it was a good one. If I ever end up getting an NES flash card, I need to remember to ask you for Mega Man ROM hack recommendations. There's a secret up there. I can't jump high enough to get to it yet, but I know it's there. Oh, that did it. Nice. Not nice. Okay now. It was good. Final boss was ridiculous, so I had to give myself an advantage. They have made the final boss weak to a different weapon. It made him hit really hard. Next Monday is back to Mega Man Maker levels. No. I don't know what that glowing green thing up there is. Oh, beautiful. Tuesday I'm going to finish off Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. No one of your regulars loves that game. I'm finally going to attempt to beat it. I hope you make it through. And yeah, I believe it's Konga is a big fan of that one. I think he said it's his favorite game. That token wasn't actually difficult to collect at all. Oh yeah, yeah. I think they're going. I think they did it on purpose. Of course, I think they're going for a. I don't know, their own sort of style with it. Maintenance office. Uncle Steve! Come on, work, will ya? I don't understand this guy's face. Pardon me, but are you Uncle Steve? Yes, and please call me Uncle Steve. Oh, I thought I did. Sorry. Ha ha ha. Uncle Steve's only joking. Uncle Steve's a funny guy. You're funny, alright. Uncle Steve, we just met Dex in the Forgotten Farmlands. He said you might be able to tell us where the smuggler's tunnels are. Oh no, you as well? It's not what it sounds like. We don't want to be smugglers. We just want to use the tunnels to get to somewhere that's locked. Well, Uncle Steve can show you where they are, but it won't help you. The entrance to those tunnels is sealed over by hard rock. Is there any way to break up the rock? The only way would be with a cannon. Can't believe I'm hearing this, Donald says. Why did I say Donald says? I'm not reading the chat. I don't need to do that, the attributes manually. If we didn't have a cannon, would there be another way? Well, you'd have to generate a huge downward force, like a piano falling out a window. I'm not sure where we'll get something like that, but we'll find a way. Sorry, Uncle Steve. Couldn't be more help. That's alright. We appreciate you showing us the location. Gosh, what's that machine for? Oh, this? It controls Monolith's mail rails and teleporters. Hey, fast travel. Is it broken? It was, but Uncle Steve has just started to get it working again. Well, if you ever need anything, just let us know. Or someone that isn't us. Ha ha ha, you're funny too. Uncle Steve's a fan. Find a large downward force. Ah. You can't actually stand on the side of one of these vertical platforms. You bounce off of it. Looks like you could stand on it. But the game doesn't want you doing that. The noise that pink guy makes kind of reminds me of the thwomps from Mario 64. A little bit difficult to tell what was going on there. But kind of hard to follow the platforms. No. Pseudo. Riffrab. Oxfee. Calyx. Fokund. Blintsy. Sieg. Pan. Dayro? Everything in the game has a name. Every character, every background detail. Hey.
Oh,
Mazzy, we always seem to find you just when we need you. My friends, yes, it is an amazing coincidence. How can I help? This is a big one. We have to generate a large downward force. Like a piano falling out a window? I've got just the thing. Aha! Some gifts for you to use whilst artistically airborne. For you, Mr. Yellow Buttons, a hopper ball crossed with a boxing glove. Now that's how you pack a punch. Next, for Miss Intrepid Explorer, a suitcase loaded with perfectly balanced weights. Fabulous. This carry-on will certainly help me carry on. Oh my. For the always hungry one, a giant donut to add sprinkles of success to your mission. Can't find a hole in that logic. Yuck. Great, I'm last again. It's something humiliating, I'm sure. For you, it's an alchemist anvil imbued with incredible weight and power. Wait, an anvil? That's stupendous. Yes, as long as you don't strain your back carrying it. What? Now, my friends, my tinkering has left me tuckered, but happy smashing. Oh, that's interesting. What is, Minnie? We just got a message from Uncle Steve. I've activated a teleporter shortcut to the top of Forgotten Farmlands. And he's added a marker to our maps. I guess he is good for something. Well, we will not be using that. Hey, I called a ground pound. Hey, welcome in. Inneries, thank you for the raid. Give us all your souls. I'm afraid I didn't manage to recollect my souls the last time I lost a life, so they've disappeared into the ether. Let me give you a shout out, my friend. How was your stream? What were you up to tonight? And how did it go? We'd love to hear. Cassette Beasts. I've heard of this one. I haven't checked it out yet myself, but I've actually heard of this game before. Hopefully you're finding it to your liking. I mixed up all my windows on my desktop here. That's more like it. Progressing on Cassette Beasts. An indie monster collector RPG. Like a fusion of Digimon and Pokemon. Yeah. More Digimon. It's been a lot of fun. Story is good. Gameplay and challenge are solid. Right on. And the monster design is cool. Very much important in a game like that. So we're playing, this is Disney Illusion Island. It's on the Switch. Ah, I see. It's kind of a Metroidvania style game, very casual. It's very fun, but the challenge level is very low. But it's all right. Makes for a pretty relaxing experience. And we just got a wonderful new ability, a ground pound. It's gonna open up all kinds of areas to us. Fair. Thanks for the shout out. No problems. Thank you again for the raid. I went into this, I basically picked it up just because of the cover art. And I thought it was going to be like kind of like a platformer, because the art style is like, oh, it looks like they're trying to do a Cuphead type thing. So I was expecting more of a, you know, standard level-based platformer, but this is just fine. I like a Metroidvania that's kind of like this, I guess kind of Hollow Knight in style, but without the combat. Think I might have it, but haven't played it. Do not have it. I believe it's a newer game. At least newer on the Switch. I think it's only been out a few weeks. I don't know if it's been on other consoles or Steam or anything like that. Control for the ground pound is a little odd. I guess you because you don't just tap down, you have to tap down and a button. You hold down and tap a button to... Oh, nice. Ground pound activates some of the oh, no. That was coincidence. I thought the ground pound moved the platforms, but it was just coincidence. They're moving on their own already. Wasn't sure if you pre-ordered it. It's worth, I mean, from what I played so far, I would say that, you know, it's generally, it's pretty worth checking out. It's just, you should probably go into it knowing that it's not a very challenging game, so. That could be, that could be disappointing. Derek Ocean, welcome in. There's a lot to see amongst the hustle and bustle of the city. See if this helps. Hey, another map piece. I was kind of hoping when we got the map piece before and it was drawn on a piece of bread like this. I was kind of hoping every time we got a map piece it was going to be drawn on something different. That does not appear to be the case. Looks like we've been pretty thorough. For me, that's good. Just can't get any games that are super difficult anymore, Greg says. I can definitely get that. I drive myself crazy with difficult games too frequently sometimes, I think. Whoa, I didn't know what I was heading toward. I haven't died yet. I mean, I might die here soon. I'm down to a single hit. I haven't died yet, but I've become real close several times. How's the game going? It's pretty good, Derek. It's a lot of fun. Oh, Henry says, off to get food. Right on. I hope you find something good. I don't usually have much to eat after a stream myself. Oh no, it's a dolphin. Gross. But I usually just have some almonds, some cashews after my stream, but I'm feeling kind of hungry tonight myself. I might have to look for something more substantial. Hey, you four.
What?
Hello, how can we help you? The name's Dash Dolphin, journalist for the Daily Monolith. Nice to meet you, Dash. How come you called us over? Well, ears. These symbols have started appearing throughout Monolith. I feel like I've seen that symbol somewhere before. They're very strange, and I want pictures of them.
Ooh.
Okay. How do you find these strangely appealing symbols? Got this camera, see, and when there's a symbol near, it'll let you know. Then someone just needs to find the symbol, get in front of it, snap a pic. Well, we'd love to help, Dash. Yeah, we'd love to, but we don't have a camera, so you can have mine. Now start snapping and make it snappy. Oh, I'm close to snapping, all right. Some of the dialogue is pretty well written in this. It's a little too talky for my taste, and especially that one cutscene really early on. Was just out of control with the talking. I thought it was going to ruin me. Alright, well, remember before I was like, oh, that flower in the background looks like Mickey. And apparently that was on purpose. There are hidden Mickeys in the game. I thought that was going to work like that. Cool. You like the insanely difficult games? That's for sure, Greg says. I gotta do. As long as it isn't Echo. Derek says, I finished the first season of the new Superman show. Really liked it a lot. Hope we get more. Right on. I haven't checked that one out myself, but it's good to hear that it's, sounds like it's pretty good. I really want to loop all the way back through this whole area. If there's not a collectible to get, but I don't remember whether or not there was. I mean, there were some collectibles down there. It looks like you need wind to get them, though. I think I'm not gonna backtrack a ton here, because I know we need the wind and the platforms for other stuff in this area. So it'd probably be best, yeah, do all of our backtracking when we have, you know, all or at least more of our abilities. At least more of the ones that I know I'm going to need in this area. Hidden Mickey found. Have Game Pass on Xbox One. Lies of P is coming out day one on there. It's gonna be a Souls-like game where you play as Pinocchio. I know, odd. I heard of that one. I don't know a lot about it, but I did hear about it. Hidden Mickey. They're all over the place. Ooh, I want that heart. Are you gonna do more Dark Souls anytime next year or something like it? I'm gonna do the New Game Plus for Dark Souls. Is the next thing we're gonna do. I plan to do all the Souls games. It's just, it's gonna be slow. It's gonna take a while in between each of them. I do want to do the New Game Plus for Dark Souls, but I don't want to start that up until I finish Tears of the Kingdom. I don't really want to be working on multiple big games like that at the same time. But yeah, when we finish Tears of the Kingdom, we'll probably take a short break from the big games, and then when I'm ready to do the next one, it'll probably be the New Game Plus of Dark Souls. My plan is to I'm gonna ask some questions on the replay so that I can find some of the stuff I missed the first time. I'm gonna let the chat help me a little bit every now and then. So I can find like the DLC areas and stuff that I couldn't find the first time around. Bloodborne's one of the best Souls-like games. I expect I'll get around to that one too. You know, I'd like to do them all. It's just gonna take a long time. I probably won't get around to Bloodborne until like 2030 at the rate I'm going. Well done, my friends. Just 2 more books to go. Just started Pikmin 3 a few days ago on the Switch. Right on. Hope you're having a good time with it. That's another game I want to do. We're going to do Pikmin 3 probably in spring next year. I don't know if I'm going to play the Switch or the Wii U version. I haven't decided. Here's somewhere we couldn't go before. It's scary down here. If you move both of the thumbsticks will move the cursor, and if you push them in opposite directions, it goes crazy. It doesn't know which one to listen to. It's kind of weird. Sometimes it just feels miraculous that I don't get hit. Pookie says, what I've been doing lately, I am doing right now, is Vampire Survivors. Everyone on Earth was playing it on Twitch for like 3 days, but I can see why. It's pretty addictive. It's a make numbers get larger thing, so probably not your taste, Mr. Frown. Yeah, those chasing the bigger numbers type games don't really hold my attention very well. But if you're having fun with it, and you know, if that's to your taste and you're having fun with it, then I'm certainly happy for you, my friend. Boy, I don't know how many of these hidden Mickeys are in the game, but they're going to be the thing that I think is most difficult to track down. The people of Bavonia are an interesting and assorted bunch. A portion of them are previous inhabitants of forgotten farmlands, whether that be the croppers, undergrowth botanists, or solo smugglers still peddling their wares. They live alongside the terrarium designers, monoth scholars, and anthropologists of Terrarium Town, each trying to leave their mark and truly understand the wonderful biome in which they inhabit. I don't think you need the word "it" in there. I think it's the wonderful biome which they inhabit. Everyone within Pavonia lives in harmony, all trying their best to please the Highness. Vampire game looked interesting, Derek says. More collectibles. I almost ran right into that enemy. I don't know. Clearly, I was not thinking. Hey, we can go in here now. Nice. The new RoboCop game. Yeah, I remember you telling me about that game and the delay before. Hopefully that'll be good when it comes out. Hope they don't mess up the RoboCop game, Pookie says. Has quite a bit of potential. And yeah, having particular games be exclusive to particular consoles can be quite a pain. I get why it is that. I get why it is the way it is, but that doesn't make it not annoying, right? Where'd Dex go? You think he found another way in? Nice of him to wait for us. Well, we'll look for him when we get to Terrarium Town.
Boy.
And it's time to head down into these tunnels. These characters have tired themselves out. Alright, progress, here we come. Oh, big surprise, another bookcase. Feels like it's missing something. Look, it has symbols, like on the Tome of Engineering. Let's try placing it on the shelf. I don't have the Tome of Engineering. What? That's nonsense. We already returned the Tome of Engineering. I don't know what is going on now. Oh my goodness. Is the boss? Yuck. I have no idea what just happened. Is this door open now? Nope. I wish we could get a new Indiana Jones game, Derek says. I thought I heard there was one being made. I don't think I've heard anything about that myself. Market Town. Hey, victory. Collectibles, here we come. Secret collectibles, here we come. And look, we opened up a thing. Beautiful. You received an extra heart. Hey, that's cool. I didn't even know that was an option. Terra Vita, or the Tome of Botany, is one of the magical books created around the formation of modern mana. Its purpose was to capture the versatility of nature. Terra Vita was pivotal in the formation of the area we know today as Pavonia. It is said the Highness harnessed the botanical power within the book to create the incredible variations of plant life, critters, and creatures found throughout this beautiful biome. Ruby. Vampire Survivors has floor chicken. The most delicious meats are usually the ones hidden inside the walls of your home. Derek says, I'll just replay the Lego indie game. Those are great and better than the new movie. A Stack Cat, welcome in. Why didn't that work? What did I do? I'm not really sure how to go about picking up this collectible here. not be within my current abilities. I think it's not. We'll have to come back to that one. Just completed the first level. GG, Pookie. GG. Thank you for the hydrate. It's alright. I'm always careful never to spill my water. Cooling down the pipes. That was good. I needed that. This whole part of the world here is very ornate. Probably should have turned down the brightness long ago. Hey, you four, over here. Is that what Dex looked like last time? I don't remember. Gosh, that's a real nice stall you got. Yes, it is. What scheme are you up to now? No scheme, see? Uncle Steve called me after he saw you. Called you? Oh yeah, I should have mentioned. I could have just phoned him. Anyway, he told me the four of you offered to help him with his problem. And it got me thinking, so I've officially given up smuggling and picked a new career. That's wonderful. You're looking at the distribution assistant for this stall. Congratulations, Dex. What do you distribute? We distribute tributes to the Highness. The Highness? The giant bird who keeps vigil over Pavonia. Oh, sarcasm again. Not this time. The Highness wraps the entire biome in her watchful wings. Well, we're glad you've turned a new page in your book. Page, the books I meant to tell you. I found an antique book dealer. An antique book dealer? They might know about the tomes. They're in the old part of town. I've added their location to your map. That's a wonderful lead, Dex. We'll investigate it. Thank you. No problem at all, friends. Who said we were your friends? Haha, Donald. Don't ever lose that sarcasm. Love it. Alright, off to the old part of town. There's so much I can't do. I've got to be able to get the ability to swing on those things at some point. They're just too obviously swingable to not be swings. Oh boy. Card is a bit out of my reach. The thing is, when I unlock the ability to swing on those things, like I think I'm going to, they kind of blend in with like all the background details. Let's hang out on this leaf a moment, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut my VOD right here.